Okay, I'm doing this fucking topic. Let's go with the simple point first. Hormones, gender hormones like testosterone, estrogen. That is part one. That just shows there's only two genders. If there was more genders, it'd be more hormones. The XYZ chromosomes, X and Y chromosomes, Pee-wee showed that the fact there is two genders. There would be a lot more chromosomes, and they would be oriented in a way that would allude to having more genders. Another thing is the simple fact of physical traits that these genders have. Like, for example, females have bigger mammalian glands to compensate for the fact they birth young, and they have a different body structure to compensate for the fact they birth children. And another thing is, I brought this up in my previous take of this. It annoys me so that people compare trannies, as they like to call, as I guess I call them, to hermaphrodites, which one is just a male who has very feminine traits due to taking estrogen and due to chopping off male parts, which then again I think just shows the pure insanity of these people. Another difference is hermaphrodites are biologically both genders. They're not like a different gender. They have gender traits of both, which purely just shows the fact that it isn't meant. It is a It's like when a person grows an extra toe when they're born. It's like a kind of a disfigurement, a disability, if you will. They're not naturally meant to be born that way. It's like when people are born with like no legs sometimes, or are just naturally dysfunctional in their legs. It's not meant to be that way. People are meant to walk. It's just that we allow these people to continue on going because our society functions off pandering, because they do. I'm not insisting to eliminate people with physical disabilities. I'm just simply alluding to the fact that we enable these people to act privileged. We enable them to be privileged. And I think a few just tangents kind of go off. I'm going to just add abortion onto this because fuck it, why not? The topic of abortion and the kind of concept of it purely just shows the lack of care people have for their youth nowadays. They don't possess care for their youth. It's just a side effect of them getting too many dicks in their ass. And that's what a child is to them, a side effect of them getting too many dicks in their ass. And it kind of just disgusts me so to see that it kind of went down that route. I can see if you want to get banged and you enjoy that, maybe you should just maybe the man should wear a condom and you should go on birth control so you can manage to have your fucking sex whatever you fucking want. Just another thing I'm gonna bring up here because I can do it here and I don't want to do another video on it, is the concept of ADD, ODD, and all these ABC disorders. They're all just personality traits. Example being ODD, opposite defiant disorder. It purely just shows the fact that there's no force and no force to rebel against. So there's no, patriarchy to stand against. There's no defiance. You can't defy against something that there's nothing there to defy against, which I guess purely just shows the indication of how it's non-existent under a society that don't function under those principles. Since the government regulates medication, they regulate the disorders. So they regulate the disorders in order to regulate people on how they think. If you are angry sometimes, you are bipolar. And if you are a bit slightly hyper or a bit energetic, you are ADD. I think this purely just shows the illogical nature of how these disorders are. And even the guy who made up ADD said it was fictitious. And if you don't know what the word fictitious means, don't come to me. But I think this kind of simple rant and simple tangent could be summed up in a simple word. People need to get off their fucking high horse and stop expecting people to care about every single thing they do. We're not going to clap at you every time you do something. You're not a fucking dog or a kid. We don't give a shit. This is my second outtake of this, and I'm probably just gonna post both because fuck it. Better consistency, right? Just another thing that I'm gonna bring up. Why so that does people believe that this is a good thing to have in a society. It is not. We're already on the decline with female and male relationships and birth rates due to the dynamic that the current gender system has. See, the issue with the gender dynamics and what people aren't going to bring up usually is that females want to wear the pants. They want the control. They want the power. But they want the men who won't go with that shit. See, I explain this to a lot of people too. They want the Chad who got the big cock and the big everything, but they want the kind of weak-minded mind of someone who is not tolerable or kind of illogical, right? Kind of like a younger. They want the weak-minded nature of a young person, younger man, and they want the strong and physicality of a normal man. And they can't have it both ways, so they bitch about how they're oppressed because they can't get what they want. They can't have the big D and the control at the same time. So what they do is they try to feminize men. They try to make them trannies, right? So women can have the advantage over men and still, I guess, enjoy the 20-inch, and they can get the kind of control they want. And that's simply what it is. They want control. You see through laws like alimony and the way child support is kind of treated here and there, that women want power, and the standard man isn't going to accept this. And we have societal backing for women, but we don't for men. I think we are hitting a point in society where casual sexism is accepted, but it's accepted towards men, but not towards women, because women hold a higher standard. We are supposed to open the door for them. We are supposed to respect them, but we should not expect to get respect back, because we are just useless cucks who don't deserve respect according to society's standards. Just another thing, we are the ones who work and put food on the table, yet we are the ones who are expected to bow down and be cucks. It amazes me so how the society thinks we are supposed to pay for the privilege when we aren't privileged. There are many men who are on welfare. There are many men who aren't privileged. And they like to adequate the term male privilege, white privilege, to devalue a stance. It is simply buzzwords, like the way racism as a word is used now. It is used simply as a way of conjecture to devalue one's opinion, the same way that racism was originally used towards black people. I mean African Americans, but that was used in that exact same way to devalue opinions and devalue stances that black people had. It was used in that way, but now it is being used in that way against men of masculine stature, and who aren't feminists and won't bow down to them, but they don't want that. It's weird. It's kind of weird on how they think, because they want these feminized men so they can control them and dominate them, but then when they get it, they don't want it because they don't got the D. They got small cock syndrome. And it just disgusts me so. They have these high expectations. And I think the concept of trannies tie into this. They want the feminized men. That's what they want. And I guess you could say it's kind of a sickening kind of world we're turning into, right? Because we're hitting a point where casual kind of sexism and casual kind of feminization of men is accepted. Masculinity is now considered toxic, and we got our ABC drugged up little boys here who have ADD and ODD because you can't make them. You can't societally convict people. If you can't societally convince men not to be men, you gotta drug them to the point females can just take advantage of them without need. And you're gonna say females do this thing. They do this, like these ABC disorders. They do accept by it. But oftentimes, I'm just of the opinion that it's used to devalue men and make them kind of submissive. And that's how they were used a lot of the times initially, to submissify people, so people can take advantage of them and get their way. But we hit a point in society where this kind of shit's accepted. Oh, but you're going to be like, no, it's not. It is. It just is. It's backward standards. It's like they'll say, oh, man, they did. If you saw it, they would be in a newspaper all over the fucking world. Oh, man, this woman got taken advantage of. The men got taken advantage of. He's a cuck. He's a fucking little cucking bitch. You know, that's what happens if a man's taken advantage of. But if a woman's taken advantage of, oh man, she's a victim. She's this, she's that. It's like, God, do you have to praise her so much? It's not like she did something good. She got fucking assaulted. And I think the way rape is treated and perpetuated, at least a lot of the times, it is not actually vindictive of an assault. It's more just or less the woman has a card, which is called sex, and she uses it to charge the man of rape. And I think this is simply where society has gone. We hit female empowerment to such a degree that they're trying to insert their estrogen upon every man that exists. And I think this, like I said, goes back to the concept of trannies and whatnot. They want to feminize men. I know I keep repeating this because it's a key point in this. And these ABC disorders are not a means to do so. And I guess this is kind of my second tangent on this. I'm going to upload both. No, all the same. So I hope you kind of enjoy or find my philosophy on life entertaining. If not, feel free to leave a dislike and comment on how I am a racist or sexist. I really don't give a shit. Have a horrible fucking day to all you dumb millennials. Later.